Today on the Morning Edition, questions surrounding the collapse of the largest oil rig on the continent, like what it means about the future for Alaska's oil industry and if harmful damage was done to the environment as well. We'll bring you the latest. Plus, details emerge about Governor Dunleavy's sales tax proposal. We'll share what we know so far and what it could all mean for your pocketbook in the long run. And later, I believe the expression is supposed to be fun in the sun, but if there is no sun and just a lot of snow, or you improvise, fun in the snow can be just as good. Just ask these folks, turning a winter storm into a rare opportunity to enjoy a little taste of winter as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Tuesday morning, everyone. We are welcoming Tracy Sinclair for today on the Morning Edition.
That could have been us. I mean, I expect that will be people in Anchorage and in South Central today.
We've got how many inches of snow over the past couple days?
Well, yesterday we got over 3, and today another 4 to 8.
So fun in the sun is something we wish we could be saying right
wish
about
we
now.
could
We
see
would
some
love
of that,
to see the
but
sun.
we're probably not going to. We are first alerting for today because of that snow that is coming through. South Central we're going to get hit pretty hard. Most of it the heaviest snow is going to come in this afternoon. But here's where we're starting off for today. 12 degrees out of Stevens International Airport. We are seeing some light winds to about 7 miles per hour, but it does make it feel like it's 2. So a little bit chilly as you're getting out and about. As I left my house in East Anchorage this morning, I did have about 4 inches of snow on my driveway. Last night when I went to bed, I was like, I don't need to shovel. It's fine. Well, I'm going to have to shovel when I get home. Most of us are going to be shoveling when we get out there today. This is what's going on. There is that band of snow that is moving through now, but we've got more on the way. And down around the coastal areas, Cordova, you're going to see a mix of rain and snow. Whittier as well. Seward, you're going to see snow today, but that is going to turn into rain pretty rapidly. And we are, of course, looking at winter weather advisories pretty consistently around the region for today. So that's what we'll talk about. We've got those advisories coming through for Anchorage, Eagle River, and the lower Matanuska Valley. This goes until 9 o'clock tonight. Possibility of 4 to 8 inches of snow coming through today. And then down on the Kenai Peninsula, again, we're looking at about 4 to 8 inches of snow, again until 9 o'clock. I wanted to point out, turning in past, though, possibility of up to 12 inches of snow going through. We know it's typically snowy there anyway, but could be a bit of a mess. Consistent all the way through. We are just looking at some snow showers throughout the day. Snow turning into heavy snow in the afternoon and then turning more into light snow showers by this evening. Temperatures today to about 20, maybe 22 for our high. But what you're going to have to watch is that temperatures do not change. Now, the next big thing, we've got that first alert day today. Snow throughout the day and then rain for you in Southeast.
The collapse of an oil rig on Friday has prompted new questions about the investigation and what it means for Alaska's oil industry. As of Monday, the rig is still right where it fell. Joe Allgood spoke with officials and industry experts and shares what he learned.
It was remarkable, the engineering feat of building of the beast. And there were no corners ever cut.
The Beast, as many called it, the largest mobile oil rig on the continent, now lying on the Arctic tundra.
It was a sad day, bad day for everybody involved and everybody who's been involved. Because I've talked to many guys that also helped me build it, and they're all sad to see it go like that because we took a lot of pride in our work and building that.
To get an idea of how tall Doyon 26 is, here's a comparison to the average American school bus, equivalent to just under 5 buses stacked end to end. A report from the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation said the rig was carrying 4,000 gallons of diesel 30 minutes prior to tipping over, in addition to hydraulic oil and ethylene glycol.
There is confirmation that there has been diesel to the tundra, so trying to get an assessment of that, where that may have gone, and putting plans into place to minimize any spread of it and looking for the most appropriate tactics in order to contain it and pick it up.
The DEC confirmed an investigation will be conducted.
I don't think anything this high has tipped over before, but there have been significantly more environmentally damaging leaks from the pipeline or other equipment.
Most importantly, and fortunately, there was no loss of life. As for the industry,
Well, sure, it's a setback. I mean, losing the services of a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment and paying the bills is a setback.
Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
Interestingly, this rig was being used by ConocoPhillips for exploratory wells in the Willow project. And as of right now, ConocoPhillips said in an affidavit last week that they have a slightly smaller rig capable of taking over the job. So there shouldn't be any delays on the project. This remains a developing story, so be sure to sign up for live updates from the Alaska's News Source app and our website as well. Turning now to Capitol coverage, Governor Mike Dunleavy introduced a proposal for what could be Alaska's first ever statewide sales tax. It would be 2% for most of the year, an increase to 4% during the summer tourist season. It came quietly on the Senate floor, introduced as a bill we're likely to hear a lot about, SB 227. Things like groceries, gas, electricity, and most retail purchases would be taxed, but other things like healthcare, prescriptions, and food bought with WIC or SNAP would be exempt. While the governor has not commented this week, last week during his State of the State address, he said his budget plan would be a 5-year bridge to close the state's $1.5 billion budget deficit. Still, some lawmakers are already signaling this tax idea may be a hard sell.
I know that each element of the fiscal plan that I'll introduce will have its detractors. There'll be those that'll say it doesn't work. But the fact of the matter is, the numbers and the elements of the plan could work. And I'm open to ideas that'll improve the plan. But I believe we all can agree on one thing in this room. Alaskans today, tomorrow, and for years to come deserve our best efforts to fix this issue this year and put Alaska on a course to prosperity. In this plan, the permanent fund and the dividend would be protected.
There's no exemptions for food other than for people on WIC and SNAP. There's no exemptions for a lot of other services that working families rely on. So it's an aggressive tax on working Alaskans, and it's very light on taxing outsiders. It's very light on taxing the oil industry. It's very light on taxing the people at the top, and very heavy taxing the poor and working class.
If passed, it would expire in 2034, but it can't take effect unless 3 other bills also pass. The proposal is now in the Senate Finance Committee. Complete details, including why some lawmakers are against the idea, and a link to the bill are on our website and mobile app. State lawmakers on the Joint Armed Services Committee, who oversee military and veterans affairs, say they're still waiting on answers from leaders of Alaska's 11th Airborne Division following the fatal Border Patrol shooting of Alex Preddy, a VA nurse in Minneapolis Saturday. As we've reported, about 1,500 soldiers were on standby for more than a week to possibly deploy to Minnesota if the president invoked the Insurrection Act. The president softened his tone on the crackdown Monday, with some agents expected to leave Minnesota as soon as today. The Joint Armed Services Committee has now sent a letter to the 11th Airborne Commander requesting more details.
The military, but we do have a concern about what happens to the families. So out of the families that have contacted my office, we're really concerned about their spouses, possibly being deployed within the U.S. in a very short time frame. So it's good knowledge to have, and I think that we owe it to our community.
I think it raises fundamental questions about our constitutional rights. He has a Second Amendment right to have a weapon holstered. The fact that he was summarily executed on the streets of Minneapolis, I think it should disturb everyone who cares about the Second Amendment in this country.
Across the aisle, Representative Jamie Allard sent her own letter to the division. She says the military doesn't have to respond to the legislature's request. Allard told us concerns about the videos are reasonable, but investigators should finish their work before anyone draws conclusions. The 11th Airborne Division has not responded to the legislature's request. We've also reached out but haven't heard back. For the full conversation with lawmakers, tune into Alaska's Political Pipeline on our website, app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Anchorage Mayor Suzanne LaFrance announced on Monday updates regarding property assessments. This impacts Golden View Park, Lookout Landing, Leary Bay, and Sahali. Those 4 neighborhoods will now receive new green cards with new property assessments. If you believe your property should be reassessed, you can request an informal review. There is no fee for homeowners to go through this process. For details on how to complete an informal review by February 11th, visit our website. A new recycling center is in the works in Fairbanks, one expected to expand the borough's capability to take in recycled materials. Borough Mayor Grier Hopkins is asking the Assembly this week to appropriate around $2.5 million to scope and design the project. He says the facility, which would replace the borough's current central recycling facility, would have more room for trucks and a better baler, allowing it to take recycling from nearby military bases, the school district, and the borough itself, none of which use the current location. Recycling could also come in from curbside pickup in the city and certain dumpsters in the borough's transfer sites.
We're looking at just refurbishing a vacant warehouse at the landfill instead of trying to build an entire new facility. It's going to be really fiscally responsible and make sure we're using the infrastructure that we have in place as best we can. It's right there at the landfill, so it'll be able to take advantage of the scales and the personnel and the equipment that they already have there.
The Assembly is scheduled to take up the appropriation at Thursday's meeting. Between funding and planning, Hopkins expects construction to get underway in 2027. A Saldana teen is recovering after a fall of over 30 feet off a snow machine broke his back. Jace Bertrand spoke with Ryan Wheat and his family about his rescue and the road to recovery.
Ryan Wheat has had a love of snow machining since he was 5 years old. That love now putting him in jeopardy after a crash near Soldotna.
Me and my dad and my buddy were up snow machining and we were having a fun time. Then I was climbing over a hill. I was planning to let off and coast down the other side of it. And when I got to the top of it, my track caught on a stump and it launched me about 15 foot up over the hill. And I fell about 35, 40 feet.
I didn't know how bad he was hurt. I was just hoping he kind of had the air knocked out of him or something. And that would probably gave it about 10 minutes and realized it was a little more severe.
Ryan's father, Mike, says he called 911 using the SOS feature on his phone before waiting over 3 hours for a helicopter to medevac them to Providence, Alaska Medical Center in Anchorage.
When I got the phone call, it was one of those phone calls that no mom ever wants to get. I called my friend to run me up to Anchorage and dropped everything I was doing, and she ran me up, and I was in contact with Alaska.
Ryan broke his back in 4 places, forcing him to undergo surgery to have 14 screws and 2 rods put into his back.
He has been able to get up so far and walk to the chair that's in the room here and sit down. So it's going to be slow and gradual, and we're hoping that he gets out of the hospital here on Friday. It's been great, all the support we've got from everyone and all the emails and texts and prayers. We're so thankful. We're thankful for having him with us here today.
As for Ryan's love of snow machining,
I'm ready to go as soon as they let me out of here.
Okay, Mom doesn't. I object.
I'm going.
Jace Bertrand, Alaska's news source.
Well, here's something that not many people may be aware of. Did you know you can store your ID and passport on your phone? And that is known as mobile ID, and it can be used at Anchorage and Juneau airports now with TSA. We'll bring you those details straight ahead. And then it's going to
And here's a look at your daylight hour as well. We are looking at an increase of 5 minutes and 4 seconds here in the Anchorage area. It's going to leave us with 7 hours and 22 minutes of daylight. But check out Utqiagvik. You guys are going to see an increase of 18 minutes and 59 seconds. Hoping we get to see a little bit of sunshine soon. We'll have your full forecast when we come back.
Tracy, earlier you were talking about shoveling. I backed out my car straight through all those inches of snow in my driveway. So not looking forward to what my day is going to look like later. But
no, it's been a long time since I've been out before the snow plows, and I'm driving like the snow's kind of deep. So
the roads are not so good right now.
Yeah, if you are out early, I know the crews will get out there, but there was some deep snow out on those roads. So just kind of be cautious here in the Anchorage area. In fact, throughout South Central, we are looking at snow. We've got a first alert weather day for today. Till at least 9 o'clock tonight is when we expect to see some snow. Heaviest snow coming in this afternoon about in the Anchorage area and down on the Kenai Peninsula. Overall, most places looking at somewhere between 4 to 8 inches of snow for today. That's not including what we got yesterday. Could see even more in Turnagain Pass. And then we are likely to break that record for the snowiest January. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Winter weather advisories as well. Anchorage, Eagle River, Lower Matanuska Valley for that snow. Also down on the Kenai Peninsula, looking at that snow. Temperatures around the Anchorage area throughout South Central. We're looking mainly in the low double digits. Palmer, you're at 14 degrees. You can see all of these videos and cameras are showing that snow looking pretty heavy out on the highway. We'll have to check the reports out towards the Eagle River, but it is looking like there is some pretty heavy snow still on the road out in the Eagle River area. 12 for you over in Talkeetna and 13 in Eagle River. So looking ahead for what we expect today, it's going to be snow. We've got a couple rounds coming through. And then right behind it, though, you see some rain, and that is going to be moving into the coastal areas. So we just want to be prepared for that. Some places looking at that mix of rain and snow. That'll be you, Cordova, Whittier, also looking for that mix of rain and snow. Looks like we get a little bit of pause tonight after that 9 o'clock moment. We will see that snow move out. But then right behind it, there's going to be that rain, and that's going to move in Cordova, Valdez, Seward, looking at rain over the next couple of days coming through. So heavy snow followed by rain. You know, it just is going to make things a bit of a mess down on the coastal areas in particular. Doesn't look like a lot is going to make it over the mountain. We are going to be shadowed by those mountains. So all the way down to through the Kenai and into Anchorage and into the valley, not expecting to see much influence once we get done with that system. We could see maybe a little bit of mix coming through on Wednesday, but overall, I think we're pretty much done once we get through for tonight, maybe a little bit as we're heading toward the end of the week. And looking at some snow totals, I think this is a little bit high for you down in the Seward area. Anchorage looking at about 3.9 inches more. I think that's a little low, so we're going to skew that a little bit higher. We could actually see more, particularly in East Anchorage. We're looking at that snow to come through the Anchorage area. We're talking about the snowiest January and whether we're going to hit it. Well, here's where we're at. 2026, just after yesterday's snowfall, we're now at 32.6 inches of snow. That puts us in second place. I think with that snow coming through for today, we are expecting to hit that record snowfall. And here's why. One of the things that most of the models are showing is that we're going to see somewhere between 5 and 10 inches of snow coming through today.
Well, when you fly, your phone already holds your boarding pass. Now it can hold your ID, too. Alaska travelers can tap their TSA using a new option aimed at speeding up security and giving you more control over your information. Lauren Maxwell shows us how it works.
Well, many of us use our phones to show our boarding passes, but we still fumble when providing your real ID at security. A recent change means you can now have all of that information in one place, and that place is on your phone.
In the Anchorage and Juneau airports, you are now able to check in through TSA using your Alaska mobile credential.
Mobile IDs are obtained on an app you download for free, and the DMV says there are lots of advantages. At the airport, it's convenience.
You know, sometimes you have your kids with you, sometimes you're balancing carry-on luggage, and if you can do all of your check-ins using just your phone, that's really appealing to people.
But mostly, she says, mobile IDs protect privacy, since they require the user to give consent before any information can be shared.
You have all of these options on what you choose to send and what you don't choose to send.
Still, many Alaskans are just learning about mobile IDs. And at the airport, most of the people we spoke with had never heard of them.
I have not. Or just what you're telling me now.
So you haven't heard of mobile IDs before?
No, my son uses it because I see him doing that with it, but I haven't.
But all of them said they'd be willing to give it a try. Is that something you think you'd be interested in?
Sure, that would make it easy, effortless.
The DMV website has all the information for people interested in a mobile ID on their phone. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.